Welcome back, Focus Learners. Okay, so today we're diving into another explainer, and this one is all about AI Marketing 101. Specifically, we're looking at Lecture 7, turning one single idea into 20 posts using AI for content at scale. Imagine this, sitting down, grabbing just one little concept from your content calendar, and in a single sitting, generating an entire week's worth of omnipresent content. That is exactly the promise we're delivering on today.
So, you might be wondering, how exactly do solo creators post like a whole entire team? I mean, you see them literally everywhere, right? You open LinkedIn, they're there. You scroll Shorts, there they are. You check your email, boom, a newsletter. It honestly feels impossible for just one person. But spoiler alert, the secret is absolutely not working 20 times harder or kissing your weekends goodbye. The secret is working exponentially smarter by leveraging one single core concept to its absolute maximum potential.
To pull this off, we really need a massive mindset shift. Think about it. Amateurs, they treat every single post like it has to be a brand new, totally original idea. They wake up every day facing that dreaded blank page treadmill. And honestly, that's just a one-way ticket to everyday burnout. Pros, on the other hand, operate completely differently. A pro takes just one solid idea a week and expresses it 20 different ways. We need to end the burnout, and this is exactly how you do it.
So let's just quickly look at the game plan for today. We're going to cover 1, the rule of scale, 2, the atomization ladder, 3, the 1 to 20 map, 4, multiplying with AI, and finally, 5, the human quality pass. All right, let's jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the rule of scale. Basically, we need to stop creating from scratch and start multiplying.
Because, look, coming up with the idea itself, that is literally the most expensive, energy-draining part of content creation. Generating that initial brilliant thought takes so much mental juice. That's why we use something called atomization. Atomization is basically taking one big content atom, your core idea, and breaking it down into a bunch of smaller pieces, with each piece uniquely shaped for wherever it's going to live online. Think of it like this. The assets you post are really just your core idea wearing different outfits for different parties. You're simply providing 20 different doors for your audience to walk through to find the exact same message. Which brings us to Section 2, the atomization ladder. Let's look at how this content actually cascades. It's super cool to see how this practically flows downward. So it starts right at the top with the pillar. That's your core point. Let's say your big idea is, AI copy needs research, not just prompts. From there, it cascades down into long form, so that's your full explanation, maybe a deep dive newsletter. Then it scales down again to mid-form. This is a restructured argument perfect for something like a carousel. A step below that is short form, where you pull out specific subpoints for snappy reels. And finally, you hit micro, your quick one-liners and quote graphics. Literally one single idea scaling perfectly into every single one of these formats.
Now, hold on, because I need to slap a massive warning label right here. You have to reshape for the room. A tweet is not a LinkedIn post, which is definitely not a reel. Seriously, the absolute biggest amateur mistake, the one that will get you ignored in a heartbeat, is just lazily copy-pasting the exact same text across every single platform. You can't just take a massive long-form paragraph and dump it on X. It doesn't work. You got to respect the unwritten rules of where you're posting.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, the 1 to 20 map. This is going to be your repeatable checklist.
I actually highly recommend you grab a screenshot of this right now. Just look at this breakdown. From just one single pillar idea, you're going to pull 5 distinct shorts. You'll craft 5 story frames, then design 3 quote graphics, and leave 3 thoughtful replies to seed your idea in different communities. Plus, you'll build 1 carousel, 1 X thread, 1 LinkedIn post, and 1 email. Add that all up, that totals 20 assets. If you run every single pillar in your calendar through this exact map, wow. It is literally the mathematical formula for turning 1 hour of work into a full week of total omnipresence.
So, let's talk about execution in Section 4, multiplying with AI. Let's do a live build.
Now, I want to be super clear right up front. Pretty much any chat AI works for this. The magic isn't in buying some fancy specific tool. The real skill is in the reshaping itself. So here's the 4-part workflow. Step 1 is extracting the subpoints. You just paste your pillar notes into your AI and ask it to break the idea down into 5 distinct subpoints, making sure each one is strong enough to stand totally on its own. Step 2 is reshaping natively per platform. Step 3 is reusing existing assets. And step 4 is batching and fixing what we call the tells. Let's actually dig into these a little more.
So step 2 is really where the magic happens. The difference between bad AI and good AI is honestly night and day. Bad AI output, that's just identical, lazy, cross-posted text. Good AI output, though, is all about native reshaping. You literally take just one of those subpoints from step 1, right? And you prompt your AI, hey, rewrite this as a punchy 3-line X post, and then, okay, now do it as a LinkedIn post starting with a personal story, and then give me a 15-second hook for a short. The AI does all the heavy lifting of adjusting the length and tone. But you, the human creator, you keep the through line. Every single asset still has to point right back to your core idea.
Next up is step 3, which is reusing your existing copy and images. Look, if you're building a carousel, please do not start from scratch. Pull in that landing page copy you already spent hours writing. For quote graphics, just use ad lines you've already tested and drop them right onto your existing brand templates. Your previous assets are literally the instant building blocks for your new visual pieces. You're assembling things here, you're not starting from zero.
Which brings us to step 4, batching and fixing the tells. And I really want to say this loud and clear, so hear me out. Copy-pasting identical text is the #1 tell of a lazy AI marketer, for sure. It is the absolute fastest way to nuke your brand's credibility. Think about it. When you line all 20 of those assets up to do a quality assurance pass, if they just look like carbon copies of each other, you failed. Doing this batch pass is absolutely the difference between being a respected, omnipresent brand and just being downright annoying to your followers.
And that leads us perfectly into section 5, the human quality pass. This is what you do right before you ship, because before you launch anything out into the world, you have to realize that using AI is never, ever an excuse for laziness. So before a single post goes live, it has to survive this rigorous 3-check pass. Check 1, is it platform native? Read it out loud and ask yourself, does this actually feel like it was made for this specific platform, or did I just dump it here? If it feels dumped, you got to reshape it. Check 2, hook on every asset. Absolutely no asset gets a free pass on its opening line. It has to grab you. And check 3, one through line. Could a total stranger look at all 20 of these posts and trace them all back to the exact same core idea? Because if the ideas scatter all over the place, you've just diluted your entire message.
Actually, I want to double-click on that second check really quick because it's just so vital. 20 weak hooks equals 20 ignored posts. Simple as that. If you use AI to artificially scale up your output, but you fail to hook the reader on each individual piece, you didn't multiply your success, you literally just multiplied your failure. Every single asset has to earn its first line. You have to grab their attention 20 completely separate times.
All right, let's put this all into practice. Here is your lab assignment for this explainer. I want you to take one single pillar idea from your content calendar, multiply it into 20 platform-native assets using that exact map we just covered. Then, run every piece through that 3-check human quality pass. Finally, pick your absolute best 3 and post them alongside the single original idea they came from. Guys, this is exactly how you master content at scale.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. When you launch your next week of content, will your audience see a brilliant, omnipresent brand that deeply understands them on every single platform? Or are they just going to scroll right past a lazy AI copy-paste? The tools are sitting right there. The map is right there. Honestly, the standard you hold yourself to is the only variable left. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.